Trade rumors escalating. An article published today shows key Rams trade interests that have a main impact on the 2025 impact season. All that coming up on this episode of Rams Digest. Welcome back to another episode of Rams Digest. I am your host, Joshua Finehirsh, and before we go any further, make sure to hit that subscribe button right now and hit the bell so that you do not miss any daily Rams Digest videos and so that you get notified every time that we post. And thank you again for tuning in to another episode of Rams Digest. Now to our main story of today and how the Rams look to improve their roster heading into training camp now, which is approaching in pretty much exactly 2 months from now, and they need to improve their roster in order to become true Super Bowl contenders. And the way to do that is I have 3 different players that the Rams will be looking to target in the offseason to help improve their roster. No trade talks are official just yet, but these are rumors that are circulating around, brought to us by Clutch Sports. We are going to start off with where the Rams really ended off last year. They won the NFC West last year and put up a great fight before falling to the Eagles in the divisional round of the playoffs last year. And now the Rams look to take the next step to return to the Super Bowl for the first time in 4 seasons to try and win their second title in 5. We are here to discuss the best trade targets that the Rams can make in order to improve their roster to become bona fide Super Bowl contenders once again. And this is definitely important to look into. The Rams are already at a good spot roster-wise. However, they're not exactly, on par with the Eagles right now, or, a healthy Niners team that is going to be looking to come back for revenge, right now. And for the Rams, they'll need to fend off the Seahawks as well, the Lions, Commanders, Cowboys just got George Pickens, who are going to be better. So the Rams have a lot of competition in the NFC to try and thwart off. And then the Rams went 10-7 last season, and many believe that they can win the Super Bowl, including myself. LA has made significant improvements in the 2025 draft in this offseason. However, there's always more to do to better their chances, and I agree with what this article says. This still is not a team that can go into Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia and win a key game. However, that game is going to be in week 3 of the season, so no snow will be impacted. Should be actually quite a nice little late afternoon game there in Philadelphia. And for the Rams, we have 3 players that they will look to target in order to improve. And first off, we have at the offensive line, we have Jack Conklin. And the Rams were not terrible on the line last year. They were ranked 14th according to PFF. Ultimately, their line did gain strides, but there are still ways the team can improve, especially with Rob Havenstein, their starting right tackle, being 33 years old. And Conklin would be a good option to target to help make the offensive line even better. Unfortunately, injuries have slowed him down, and he did not do much for the Browns last season. He played 15 games or more in just 1 season over 5 years, but was an All-Pro in 2020 when he accomplished that feat. And Conklin, did decline last offseason, allowing 7 sacks, which put him 126th among offensive tackles on PFF. And despite that, he still received a 67.6% pass blocking grade, which is around average, meaning that he can make a difference if healthy. And because of his injuries, his value is not at the highest point right now. Therefore, LA could ideally send a mid-round pick to the Browns in exchange for Conklin. And a new environment and a chance to put on a Super Bowl contender could motivate Conklin to enhance his play and give the Rams a little bit of a younger weapon in the trenches. Conklin is 30. He's 6'6". He is 308 pounds. He is a 2-time All-Pro as well, also made an All-Pro team as a rookie with the Tennessee Titans. And for the Rams, Havenstein has had injury issues. Being 33, right tackle is the one spot in the O-line where the depth is a little bit shaky, and Jack Conklin is a primary right tackle, which is very, very important. And I want you right now to comment down below if you agree with this move and if the Rams need to improve on the offensive line as a whole. Now we move on to our second player. He's more on that superstar level status that will definitely cost a lot more than Jack Conklin if they want to acquire him. And it would be really a bit of a blockbuster and a surprising move if the Rams do decide to do so for the cornerback position. And injuries have slowed down at this player, being Jaire Alexander. And there would be very little chance that the Green Bay Packers consider trading him if he had been fully healthy. While the Packers are working with Alexander on a contract extension, there's been a lot of doubt lately because of that. he's suddenly become an option for a team like the Rams to target, who are contending for a Super Bowl, and Alexander might also need a fresh start. So far, things look positive between him and Green Bay, but if talks break down, he surely could find a new team pretty easily that would be willing to give him the extension he needs. I agree. Jaire Alexander, it's been rumored for the past couple of off seasons now that he might be moved or traded. And for the Packers, this would mark a bombshell of a move for them, going away from their number one cornerback. And for the Rams, this gives them the number one corner that they haven't had since Jalen Ramsey on that Super Bowl run, who's been rumored. But Jaire Alexander, a bit younger, he's 28, he's a two-time Pro Bowler, he's 5'10", 196, decent size for a corner as well. Only 7 games last year. He did have 2 interceptions on 16 tackles in those 7 games. And getting Alexander would not cost as much as a year or two ago. Instead, a 4th-round pick would be enough to sent to the Packers to secure Alexander's services. While Ramsey, as I just mentioned, is a familiar option for LA, Alexander would be younger and offer a higher reward, especially when lining up against the best receivers in the NFL. I fully agree. The Rams don't have that 1A corner where when you're playing a team like the Eagles, you'll need someone to guard A.J. Brown, or playing a team like the Lions on Amon-Ra St. Brown. The Bucks, you really need 2 to guard, Evans and Godwin. And I want you to comment down below as well right now. How do you believe the Rams can improve at corner, or if they need to at all? I've mentioned Jalen Ramsey. Stephon Gilmore is another name if you want to go on the cheaper route. Do the Rams need a star or the cheaper route? And the last player on our trade list today, another Packer in Quay Walker, the linebacker. Quay Walker has not had the best time in Green Bay, only delivering a 54.6% grade on PFF. Thus, the Packers would be more inclined to move him if they find a partner to deal with and trade him to. Walker could be a potential boost, especially in a change of scenery and a slightly altered role on the Rams. But both Josh and I have talked about this on the channel, that the linebacking core still needs some work. It's not as bad. They have improved with Nate Landman and Chris Paul Jr., but Quay Walker, being 25, is another younger piece who's also played in some key playoff games as well. And Walker did play 13 games last year. He recorded 102 tackles, 2.5 sacks. He also had 2 passes defensed, showing his difference on the field. And Walker did lead Green Bay in total tackles and ranked 29th in the NFL in that category. And that is very, very important for the Rams, because the Rams often had trouble tackling in the open field, more so in the run game than in the pass game. But this is very important as someone who can get up in there, stop Saquon. He's 6'4", 241, has really good size for a linebacker as well, that weight, and has decent speed. And LA could trade for someone like Walker because he's shown glimpses of being an elite linebacker. Regardless, the Packers might trade him because they do not want to extend him. The 2022 first-round draft pick has not put it all together just yet, but has shown signs that he can. A mid-round pick as well should be enough to acquire Walker. While he has not yet performed to the expectations of a first-round level pick, there is still a possibility that he does thrive on a new team, and the Rams need a linebacker who can play sideline to sideline, and Walker could fit that role like a glove. I totally agree. Quay Walker, he's also known for being the guy that shoved the Lions trainer a couple seasons ago, which is not the best thing to be known for, really, especially being that was not too long after the Damar Hamlin incident occurred, so definitely not the best timing to do that, and you should never shove trainers, although he claims it's an accident, so we do not know. And with Quay Walker, the Rams do get a younger option at that linebacker spot, more depth as well, someone who would start next to Omar Speights, and maybe even Quay Walker leads that defense. And I want you to comment down below right now as well how the Rams can improve at linebacker, or if they need to, if they roll with some young guys along with Nate Landman and Speights like Chris Paul Jr., and if Josiah Stewart turns into a linebacker. I can't wait to hear your comments, and make sure to like this video for the Rams' overall improvement. And for Quay Walker, a change of scenery to a team that doesn't have as much competition in the division, at least as elite as the Lions, and even the Vikings won 14 games last year. Quay can kind of take a break from the NFC North, face some new opponents who haven't seen him before, and potentially get that breath of fresh air, like this article was saying. And before we wrap up this episode of Rams Digest, the Rams have the opportunity to do something that no other team has done, and that is beat all bird teams in the NFL. Every single team with a bird on it, the Ravens, the Falcons, the Cardinals, and the Eagles, are all on the Rams' schedule this year. And if the Rams do beat all 4 of those teams, they will be the first team in NFL history to beat every single bird logo team in one season. I thought that was a fun fact to share with you today, that the Rams have an opportunity to do that. So like the video right now if you believe the Rams can do that, and as well comment down below if you believe that that's possible as well. And that's it for this episode of Rams Digest. Thank you very much for tuning into another one. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, turn on that bell so you do not miss any daily Rams Digest videos coming at you. And make sure to leave in the comments down below what you think of these trade targets and any other names that the Rams should look out for this offseason. Leave a like on the video, hit the subscribe button. I've been your host, Joshua Finehirsh. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon for another episode of Rams Digest.